Wonderful. Good morning, friends, and welcome to the Spiritual Side of Virginia. It's so good to be with all of you here today. We're going to start by reading a message from the book The Way, the Truth, and the Life by the Spirit Emmanuel through the loving hands of the medium Chico Xavier. And the message for us, all of us today, is number 87. Why are you sleeping? He asked them, why are you sleeping? Rise and pray, so that you do not fall into temptation. Luke 22:46. Considering Jesus' basic teachings, it is imperative to avoid comfortable situations that undermine activities for the good. In this passage, Luke's gospel says that the disciples were sleeping because they were sad, while the master was fervently praying in the garden. Thus, we can see that the Lord does not even approve of an activity caused by troubles due to great suffering. Modern-day disciples see the world as a field of labor for the kingdom, where they are to make an industrious and watchful effort, understanding that Christ is still carrying out his redemptive work of redemption for all. Remembering the prayer in Gethsemane, where he compelled to realize that innumerable Christian communities are asleep in their personal social circles, their trivial interests, and their ephemeral vanities. They talk about Christ and his undying exemplification as if they were sleepwalkers, unconscious about what they say and what they do, only to wake up in too late tears at the moment of corporeal death. Let us heed the Savior's question, and let us seek spiritual growth and toil, where there is no room for what is useless or ruinous to our consciences. As for you who are still in the flesh, do not sleep in spirit, inattentive to the interest of the Redeemer. Rise and toil, because it is in the sleep of the soul that, through nightmares or illusions, the most dangerous temptations are encountered.
So, what question did Felipe ask at the beginning? Oh my God. Are we? No. Fully awake. Yay. So let us pray. Right together, feeling the loving presence of the illuminated friends, the spirit teachers, doctors, nurses, and therapists. Dear Mother, Father God, we are so small in your infinite universe or universes, in multi-dimensions. We are one of so many. But we've come to know that in spite of so many, each one of us are loved unconditionally by you. And for reasons that we are yet to discover, you've created us for unique purposes. Thank you for opening the doors of the Spirit Society of Virginia to us, welcoming us to this temple of your love, where we learn about who we are, where we strengthen ourselves to go through the tests of life and stay fully awake in the proposal of love and peace. Talking about peace, we pray today specially to the nuclei of war around the world, where hatred has conquered grounds. May we pacify ourselves to truly contribute with the peace in the world. We always need your guidance and your protection. And we are grateful that you're giving us, granting us your permission to begin our educational and deeply therapeutic services. And so be it. Okay, before each one goes to their rooms, today we have a friend who came from Richmond. Why is Richmond so important to the state of Virginia? Who knows the answer? Yes, Virginia.
It is the capital.
So, it's the capital. Did you know that there is a Spiritist Society of Richmond there? Yes. Thanks to Sheyne, who is here. You know, I met Sheyne Martin way back when, 2010, in Baltimore, Maryland. She's a neuroscientist like me. Yes. So we're neuroscientists. And we met. She started coming to the Spiritist side of Baltimore. And one day she moved to Virginia. She got married to Eric, who is also a Spiritist, one of the directors with her. And over the years, 14 years, they have been working to boost the Spiritist movement there. She became a nurse. Not enough. She became a nurse. And besides research and nursing, she is still there, thank God, keeping the flame of Spiritism alive. It's a beautiful center. I would recommend if you stop by in Richmond, give her a call, visit the center, because it's just so good to see the seriousness that they take into this, into focusing and prioritizing the Spiritist works above anything else. And she comes here today to talk about a topic that is so important, about courage. When Bartholomew, one of the most devoted disciples, that's what is in the history books of Christianity, he was not feeling well. He was kind of depressed, we would say nowadays. And Jesus noticed. You see, Jesus doesn't notice how we're feeling. He knows. But he doesn't impose. That's why you're not going to be like, woo, by him at home, like, oh my gosh, Jesus is here. Nobody has ever heard that, because he's very gentle. When he comes, he's very kind. And he never imposes, he invites. And Bartholomew one day was feeling so bad. Jesus, compassionate as he was, turned to him and asked, what's going on? He didn't say what's up because they didn't know how to say that then. So he said, what's going on there, Bartholomew? And then Bartholomew started like a therapy session. Oh my God, my life is so bad. Nobody gets me. My friends at work are the worst. My father's so rude. And My brothers don't understand me and bully me every day. And my mom, gone. She died. I lost my mom. Master, I know your messages are good news, but how can I be happy this way? He was not good enough. He couldn't put 2 plus 2, which is 2 plus 2. What is 2 plus 2? 4! Easy! Because we love math. But Bartholomew, he was not good. He couldn't understand how Jesus brought such a beautiful message and his life was so hard and challenging. And Jesus, very kindly, started explaining more and saying, no, Bartholomew, for those who listen to the good news, joy is just within it. And for those who follow it, you need a trademark of joy, hope, and courage. So to really do this, we need courage. Courage not to jump on the bed. Right? Yes, because we know Lawrence Bear has a boo-boo on the head because he was jumping on the bed. Right, Lauren? That's not good. The courage to do the right. So let's talk about the power of courage. Dr. Sheyne Martin is going to be here to tell us about that. Meanwhile, some of us are going to go inside with Miss Daisy, Miss Carol, Mr. Felipe to learn more about this and other things inside, okay?
You guys ready?
Yeah. Yes. I'm just turn this one. This, right? Okay, so you said, well, if you do everything, it's going to show up there. No, maybe not. There you go. We are. Yeah, we are.
Sounds the curse.
I know, right?
Short.
And Carlos, I'm gonna move this. Good. Yes.
Good morning. What a blessing to see you guys. And some of you, some friendly, familiar faces. It does take a lot of courage to be here today. Such an honor and a joy to be with you. Can you hear me? And we can try to be loud. It's an honor and a joy to be here. We have all this time together in both realms of life with the Superior Spirit, so many beautiful faces. And I do hope that one day you'll come see us as well. Because in the world that we are today, what else do we need? In the United States, we have everything we need, most of us. Yet, we might experience a lot of different things that need us to move forward. In the book, Jesus in the Home, Neil Lucy describes to us, chapter 16, that to overcome all of the issues that the person in the story had, was missing courage, the greatest of all gifts. Because we can have everything, but if we don't have the courage to do what we need to do with what we have, we may be wasting some precious time. Well, what does it mean to have courage in this world? And why do we need courage? As Vanessa was alluding to it, this is our beautiful earth. Courtesy of NASA and our taxpayer money. This is an illustration, of course. So visualize yourself in that spinning blue ball. No top, no bottom, no left, no right. Under the gravity of the sun. We are courageous to be here today, in this lifetime. We are courageous to accept the call of Christ to be here today. Many spirits are waiting for that opportunity. And some of them are being given this opportunity here. And maybe one day we'll have the courage to go elsewhere, or we'll be kindly invited to go elsewhere. But we are here today, and we need courage because Earth is a school. Just as we are learning today from the book Courage, is the teachers we're going to bring. So what do we do in school? When we are in school, we may not want to be in school. Yes, we're learning math, science, biology, chemistry, but what else do we learn? Discipline. Who likes to wake up when it's 0 Celsius or 32 Fahrenheit outside? The comfort of the couch or the bed is much more appealing. But we learn from a young age that we need to have discipline. The discipline to grow a body, to learn how to digest food, to learn how to speak, to walk. It's a school. And each and every one of you have a lesson, including myself. When I say you, I'm including myself. But Earth is also a hospital. So in school we learn, we grow, we learn to live in society. Nobody lives alone. You don't go to school by yourself, even if you're homeschooled. Someone needs to teach you. In the hospital, we learn to heal. On the earth, we cure sometimes, we heal a lot, and some of the things we just manage. But that's the nature of the physical body that you and I have, with the resources of medicine and science that we have today. 2,000 years ago, you have a cut, perhaps you get an infection, there's no penicillin, there's no antibiotics. So we are here today to fulfill the law of progress, the law of society, the law of destruction, the law of reproduction. What else happens on the earth? Floodings, hurricanes, suicides, abortions, trials, difficulties in relationship. Why am I telling you this? For you to doom scroll at home? No. Because we need to have the courage to look around, look at myself. What can I offer? Not what I'm missing yet. What can I offer today? What are my aptitudes and challenges? And then I have to look around myself and see, where did God put me? Yes, there are all the problems, but we are all here to atone and progress. That's the purpose of reincarnation. It's not to only go to school, to have a family, to have a car, have a house, to go vacations. But in each and every one of those activities that are intrinsic to the physical body and the society we're in today, we are getting better. And we are reaping what we sowed, even if it may be difficult for us to see it at the time of the difficulties. However, with God's grace, we have illuminated teachings from the spirits. We are not alone. We're not alone ever. And that changes the way we see ourselves and the things we do. These are some of the spirits, and they will forgive me if I forgot any, because this book, Courage, has 50 chapters. And of course, I can't cover them all today. But for our convenience, we have a whole playlist on Kardec Radio. One whole year, because it's 52 weeks, give and take, of studying every week. This good spirits inspire us to read and discuss. And every time you listen to it, even though I was there doing it, I learned something new every day. But it takes the courage from this to choose this, or the audiobook, or the Kindle. I just happen to have this copy. Or to choose scrolling. And I'm going to bring, when Jesus was on the earth, what did he do? He spoke, he taught, he healed. What did Paul do? He spoke, he taught, he healed, and he wrote. That's the technology of the time. Today, we share on social media. This is being broadcast for us to watch later. So the courage is to look at the resources that I have and how can I improve and not add fuel to the fire. So these teachings are here to guide us because guess what? There will be setbacks. There will be large setbacks and there will be smaller setbacks. And even when I find myself a very small inconvenience, let's say my car broke down, and we're like, oh my God, I'm going to be late, I can't do this, I have to spend money fixing it, I don't have a mechanic, and we go into catastrophe. And the scripts will say in chapter 40, possibly prevented you from having an accident. That arose with going late. I want to start small because when we're faithful in the smallest things, God gives us bigger things to do. When we are faithful to be here, to study, to take the courses, to volunteer, maybe one day you will be somewhere else spreading this good news, incarnate or discarnate. When I was in Baltimore doing my postdoc, I never imagined I'll be where I am today. I was in Richmond for my studies. That was the only job I got after I graduated. I applied for a bunch because it was also the recession. And then I went to Baltimore. There, a family member who was also medium, a different denomination, told me there's a group. I was still in school. There's a group in Baltimore we're going to meet, the spirits told her. I didn't believe in any of that. I was Catholic, I was in science, I was, we in scientists, we were the bomb, we know everything. And then you go through the experiences of life, and then, you open yourself up to know of these. And then I was there, they welcomed me like you're being welcomed today. And then I studied, I took the courses, I came here several times, here in this location, several times a week to study. And then today, I'm still learning so that I can do well by the ones who show up. And I'm not saying this to, she does a lot. No, this is the minimum we can do. And there are many more people around the earth who are doing the good, even if they don't call themselves spiritists. Let's say we have a postponed achievement. I can't do this, I can't do a project, I can't renovate my house, whatever it is, small, daily, because sometimes we get so focused on the physical needs and the physical things that we forget the big. And they say, we'll be to your benefit so that you assume a commitment at the right time. Maybe today you can't do this, you're not ready. Imagine if you took the commitment and failed and never do it again. An organic indisposition. Whatever it is, a cold, and then you have to be in bed. They say, now you can't postpone your treatment. You must go through the treatment. And sometimes the treatments are poisons. If you go for radiation and chemo, you know what I'm talking about. Sometimes the medicine, antibiotics, they kill the bad bugs, but they also kill the good bugs, and you have to regrow again. Those are, in our lives, if you walk out of here, go to somewhere, get a food. All of these, you have also death, someone dies. And then they say, maybe avoid suffering for those who left and for those who stay. In the books of Angela Louise, we see this. Sometimes God, it's time for someone to go back to the spiritual realm so we don't keep doing wrong again and again. But if we walk out of here, we're still the minority on the earth. Someone will say, they'll be distraught because their latte didn't come out right. They put soy milk instead of almond milk. And then you see they attack the person, they insult, they throw things. Because we are on a planet where we are interacting with one another. So what you say, what you do, what you think matters. You can modulate the activity of others by controlling your own activity. We may say your difficulties are your blessings. So let's reflect on these daily occurrences, because on them, on the difficulties, and through or by them, we will find the necessary encouragement not to fall in pride or avert work. Until we can deal with the little things, these are small things that will happen to you once you get home. Someone will say something you don't like. dishwasher won't run well. Little things. You know, we go from the little to big. And he says, be patient. Always forgive, last act of construct. So if someone says something to you you don't like, forgive. Go talk to them if it's possible. Try to make amends. Remember, we're on the earth today. We don't know if we're going to return tomorrow. Or tomorrow in the next life. We hope we will because our loved ones are still here. Bezerra de Menezes is one of the spirits who chose to stay. Well, some of us will choose. Some of us will have not the option to choose. And is it because God is not just? No, it's because of our actions. So if I do well, I gain merit, I grow, I improve, I make friendships in the physical and in the spiritual realm, and then I can be given more and more opportunities. He says, the strength of the spirit resides with patience, which is capable of tolerating, understanding, serving, and restarting incessantly the work of goodness based on love, so the life remains luminous and continuous ascension. Easy, right? So should I just stop and be like, okay, go tolerate, go understand, serve, and no, it's a daily practice. And if today I encounter the same situations, I move my job and my boss is painful, my colleagues I can't stand, I change school and that means there's something in that lesson for us to learn. The courage to be able to stop and say, I'm here, this is what I can contribute. This is what I still have to work on. And then move. But it's not easy because we will have cruelty, slander, betrayals. And notice that so far the spirits inspire us to think about outward things happening to us. Right? Because you can control your reaction. But you can also control your action. What if I'm the one who is being cruel? And I don't even know. Because I said something about someone that didn't fit well with them. So it takes self-awareness to think about what we are doing. So it's a continuous work of goodness based on love, which is the glue that keeps us all together. And what is the work of goodness? Being here is work, the love labor, any useful activity. The children are working, the spirits are working, you work at your work where we get a paycheck. So you can be there, even if you don't like the people around you. We should. One day you will, because Jesus loves all of us. And if you're going to be a superior spirit, you're going to love everybody around you too. We can even conceive the idea, because sometimes we don't even love ourselves or our family members. So loving 8 billion incarnate plus 2.5, 3 times more discarnate beings, it takes courage. It takes effort and repetition. Today, I would love to tell you that you're going to discarnate. We're going to discarnate, say me, because I don't want to push anybody to discarnate. But let's say I discarnate tonight. I will feel good. Do I know? How do I know? Because I feel good now doing the work I'm doing today. But I'm not going to wake up in the clouds eating grapes and playing harp. No offense to the imagery. First, because I don't know how to play harp, and second, I don't like grapes. But yes, my heaven or my hell is what I like to do, what I think, what I feel. So today we're invited. Remember the message? Are we sleeping? Millions of beings are sleeping. They wake up, God forbid, they do hygiene items to take care of the body. And then they go their breakfast, and they do this, and they do that, and we have a checklist. And then we collapse at night, sleep and return. We're sleeping. Because we are also escaping from the difficulties. But we have a body in our soul, right? We are soul because we incarnate spirits. So in this chapters 25 and 43, Emmanuel brings to us the importance of blessing the body and caring for the soul. These spiritual gifts we're trying to develop are in question 100 all the way to 113 of this first book, the hierarchy of spirits. Someone asks you, what kind of talents, abilities do you want to be having in 5 years? Most of us will say, I want to have a bigger car, a different job, a 5-year plan, right? But you can only do any of that, even if we stay within that realm, which we need to go faster, is patience, courage, understanding, tolerance. You can only do it if you have your body and your soul, caring for your soul. So let's be courageous right now. How many times this last week did you have time to stop and thank for the physical body that you have right now? Think the answer. Now do me a favor. Be courageous. Let's thank the body right now. Close your eyes. I'll bet you. Few minutes, 2 seconds. Now visualize your head, thanking your brain, your eyes, your ears and your nose, your neck, your shoulder, your arms that help you to the many activities you have in this life. Your chest with your heart, your abdomen, your hips. Thank you, legs and feet. Come back to me. See, very simple. Whatever is happening with our physical body. Not all physical bodies have all the abilities that we'd like them to have, but that's a reason. So the manual says, the heart is an inexhaustible pendulum recording pain and joy. So what is your heart feeling right now? The brain is a sensible part of thought. What is the sum of all the emotions and thoughts that I had in the past week? Or this morning, for that matter? The hands, instruments enabling to fulfill our duties. Our eyes and ears, devoted friends helping us perform the tasks. And then our feet, the precious bases that support you. Even if we think they're not working to the optimal level, there's still blessings in them. And if you don't see, if you don't hear, if you don't speak, there are still ways that we know of people who do much good in the world, even if the physical body is not what we consider optimal or normal. No matter how tall, no matter how small, how old or how young, we all can be courageous. So we have to take care of the body. We don't say, okay, I want to develop patient tolerance. I'm only going to think about spiritism. No, because if we don't take care of the body, then indirect suicide. Then we are hastening our return to the spiritual realm, which is where we are going to be. Meaning it's our home. We are here just an internship, just like as you're turning other places on the earth. And then God is blessing us. We bless our own body. God is blessing us through the air, through the bread that feeds you, through the medicine that heals, the words that stimulate, the aid that relieves, and the prayer that consoles. Have you ever thought about thanking God for air? The oxygens and the molecules of hemoglobin grabbing the oxygen, letting go. CO2. It's all being learned throughout the internships. But without any of those things, we couldn't be here today. So we bless the body. We have the courage to say, I'll take care of this body. Even if I can't, sometimes you can't. But then there's aid and there's prayer. Service. Emmanuel tells us, life is light, selflessness, joy, and movement. Death is darkness, selfishness, discouragement, and agony. So every time we choose not to do the good, we're incurring in death. Not death as in the scientific medical description of the body cannot sustain life. But stagnant water moves bacteria, viruses, becomes murky. That's why we keep going. And he says, observe the living forces of nature observe the living forces that surround you, and you see that nature is made of work and love that's ensuring your well-being. So as we are here today, God provided for us so much. The air, the sun. There's no sun, there's no life, as we know on the earth. Now there's life elsewhere in the universe, in a form and shape that we can't imagine. Because even the higher colonies of the earth don't have the physical form that we have. As Clapius in the book Messengers, if I'm not mistaken. He has to materialize in our solar to give the teachings. There's no form, as we can't conceive that yet. Right? Because I tell you, you are a spirit, you're radiating out of your body, and you have colors, you have the double antenna. So we still learn little bits of courage. Now we should be serving. So be courageous. Come to the homeless service. Donate. do something that is useful in your community, not just at the Spirit Center, because God will bring it to you. And how do we speak with one another? Right now, the spirits are here helping us. And they said, you possess speech as an instrument of light, which is capable of removing ignorance and darkness. So we are speaking. This book came to life in 1971. So we didn't have the resources that we have today. But today we speak by typing, text, Snapchat, TikTok, streaming, or whatever. It's going to come. So every time you put any share, forward, copy, you are an agent of God. This instrument of speech. And we want to remove ignorance and darkness because the good is meek, as Vanessa reminded us. If Jesus came here today, he's already here with us, for the good spirits. He wasn't going to make us do anything, but the evil forces to push. They are aggressive. So when you're speaking, what kind of speech are you having that allow you to spread the light? Because I can only control myself. I don't know about you. If you have a child or spouse, you know what I'm talking about. You can do you, as they say, but in context, because it's not just about me. So not only what to talk above all, verify the results of your words. So when I'm going about my day, do I choose to say good morning? Do I choose to smile? Do I choose to see the invisible work that goes around me? The cashier, the person who puts the food back in the place, the truck driver who came and put the gasoline in the pump that you just pumped, walked away. So little things, you can choose to use the words. There's unfortunately a lot of people choosing to spread darkness. So when we come here today, we are asking to be courageous. Also, you can choose not to speak, which may be the best thing we can do nowadays. It's two eyes, 2 ears, and 1 mouth. Right? If we all know the math. Why am I saying this? Because we are inflaming things that shouldn't be inflamed the way we speak to others. I just speak to myself. As you blessed your body, I bet you thought about something that wasn't working right. But if you stood in the mirror in the morning and blessed that you were back, some people don't return from the spiritual realm after they sleep. They discarnate. And that's life. People will discarnate. The physical body on earth is perishable. Now, we want to have a long life to do a lot of things in our reincarnatory plan. But at some point, the body will stop sustaining life. And then we have to go. And then the spirit, seeing all the work we did, will bring it back. So the courage to stay silent in the book, good news, Jesus in the home, you can watch Jesus say things when it's right time and stay behind. He lasted a lot of the passages are like the apostles are talking, blah, 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 about my day. And then he waits for the right time as I say, hey, I'm the master, listen to me. So sometimes we have to be quiet and ask before I give an advice. Do you want to help? Do you want to listen to? Do you want me to go to the mat for you? But before we do, we'll react because we are uncomfortable. And I did this 2-second pause on purpose. We are uncomfortable with silence. Because our mental inner world is so busy that we can't. So we have to practice. And it says, dialogue is the instrument that exposes your inner world. The conversation is a mirror that reflects our real personality by which other people may pass judgment. Therefore, when you speak, you show yourself. Now, when we are in the physical body, we have strategies to mask what's really going on with us. We may be super stressed, and we learn this very well at work. You might be in turmoil, but then you're like polite, because we learn that's to live in society. But in the spiritual world, you're going to speak and feel what you feel, because you don't have the restraints of the physical body to stop you. So if we learn today to say, okay, when I'm speaking, people are showing. The book Calmness by Emmanuel, he says, your voice is your sound portrait. So when the spirits are seeing us speak, they're seeing different shades and nuances of thoughts and feelings. Now we have relationships. It says, do not abandon your home, even when it seems to be a place of suffering and affliction. How many of us sometimes wish we could just pack our bags? Or others to pack their bags. Okay? Put up with an emotionally difficult wife, tolerate an indifferent husband or partner. Put up with an unfair boss, a thoughtless friend, an unpleasant relative, or unfriendly colleague. So Jesus didn't inspire the Spirit to write this book for Chico Xavier. He said, go save the world. You're the CEO of the... No, he said, work on you and what's around you. If someone has a city to take care of, they have different abilities and responsibilities than we are the CEO of us. The physical body first, and our thoughts. And then maybe our family, which is a combined enterprise. However, we are at the right place and at the right time. It says, as eternal spirits, we are here today, at the exact point of evolution in which we have prepared ourselves. Meaning, I'd sow the seeds in this life and past life. So if you sow a seed of discipline and education in school, that's very easy for us to understand that you get a degree that somewhat gives you a profession, an activity that provides for you. But what are the seeds of our thoughts, of our ideas? How courageous are we to really look and say, I'm here today based on my own actions, multiplied by the grace of God. André Luiz tells us in his books that we ask for so much. We ask no limb, no leg, no this, blind, and then they like, come on, God, this is what Spirit's coming for. It's a little bit much for you. Let's maybe not be able to write one of these sentences. Because we are anxious when we return to do the good, and then we come here and we immerse on the flesh, and it becomes a little bit more difficult. Now we came here today to get those resources. We're at the exact point of evolution. That means the other billion of us also are there with the same rights and responsibilities as us, because they are children of God. Even if they disagree, even if they vote different, even if they like a different color or go to a different school or were born in a different place. Because today you're here, tomorrow you may have been placed elsewhere. And it says, we have the most adequate resources to fulfill our tasks and solve our problems, according to the commitments we have taken, either in the necessary field of progress or in the field directed time trials. So you have what it takes, even if it feels like you don't. Because you're here in community. There are others who would love to help. There are others who would love to be with us, but they can't. Sometimes we don't want to ask because we don't want to inconvenience people. But they would love to help. We're removing someone's joy of service when we think we can do it all by ourselves. We're here today because the spirits came hours before. They may have never left to prepare the room, to install the equipment that helps us, to help them prepare the children's classes, to make sure you got here safely, that everything worked. So we are together, even if we are alone at home. If you're watching this alone at home, your spirit members is there with you. And because of all that we know, the suffering we have from the youth, the suicide, substance abuse, alcohol, drugs, people don't know this message. And that's why with your actions, without even saying, I'm a spiritist, you can help someone feel seen, physically. So he says, help yourself today. Do we have yesterday or past lives? No, we have today. He does not say we have the future. He says, according to the laws of incarnation, almost all of us, sons and daughters of earth, have the past to expiate, the present to live, and the future to build. So do not dwell on what we did wrong, to self-mutilate. Poor me, I did this, I'm awful. No. It's to say, I did this, I did A, I got B, and now I'm going to go through C so that I can rectify. And find the people that I hurt, find the people who hurt me, find the things you can do, and God will give you. So he says, we did intolerance, we stay idle, we have regrets, we have darkness, we have hate. But today, we have balance, understanding, laboriousness, light, and love. So the opportunity is now. We can't go back. We can ruminate and think that we're thinking. So either we are depressed and thinking about what we did, or anxious thinking about what we're going to do next. But it says today you're given the opportunity to build the future that you want. So what do you want to build? What do you want the children to build? Something better because they're here. I didn't receive this type of education when I was young. I bet you I would have made different choices if I knew I was immortal spirit. Not that I was a God, Santa Claus taking notes. Good or bad. Right? That's Santa Claus. That's not God. So good today, not to be naughty or nice. That's the God I grew up with, the God that punishes. Our God is gracious. So none of this is punishment. This is action and reaction. They're divine laws. So today I choose to go through something. I go back to the Spirit's book. I see, am I violating a law here or not? If so, then I will make amends. But I don't know what to do. God will tell you. We'll see next. It says, do not waste time. Wake up and live. Value the time that the Lord has entrusted to you. That is spreading the gift of helping, learning, loving, and serving. So to have the courage to wake up and not the first thing you do is scroll through social media. We all use our phones to wake up. To have the courage to go to the work that provides for my family and do better. Pray for the institution. To go to the school to participate in the community. Today is there, he said, wake up and live, value the time. Some of us have decades, Givaldo, still doing work 90 something years ago. Some of us will return to the spiritual realm a little bit earlier, and that's a trial and a test for those who went and for those who stay. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying you're never going to cry. I'm not saying you're going to miss people. We will. If you don't, then you have a different set of issues. You have to get to a psychologist, a psychiatrist, because if your loved one, even if you don't talk to them or don't agree with them, but they care for you and you miss them, don't miss them when they die, then you're going to maybe return again to get together and do it again. Because maybe I'll go to a different family next time and I will know nobody, but I'm still missing the one that I had before. If we were invited to reincarnate elsewhere, which a lot of spirits, as the spirits tell us, are being, why? Attunement. Earth is progressing. Planetary transition. Those who don't attune with the good go elsewhere. There are other planets of trials and expiations in the world. On the way to the light by Emmanuel, the folks in the capella were disturbing the peace there. They didn't want to go. So what did they do? Jesus kindly and lovingly received them here. They came, helped us, and then some are back, some are still. We're still looking for the promised land, and we're still looking for heaven. Right? Now, God will always answer. Always. That's why I want you to be courageous to start to see. He says, in many circumstances, the advice, the guiding phrase, or blessing word will reach your soul. I would love to say to you that you should pray today for the difficulties you have. Jesus will materialize here. And then I will do it myself. Jesus, come help me. Right? But that's not how the mechanism works. He may show up for some certain people, but he will send unexpected ideas coming to you through who? The superior spirits. They're always waiting for us to see the message. Page in a book. This morning I was driving here. There was a car next to me that said, I hope something good happens to you today. If I was worried about which I don't live here, so I was crazy. So GPS, but it took me a second to look at the car next to me. It just happened to be also a bigger car, so it was at the bottom. I said, oh, something good is happening to me today. You know? So it's a page of a book, maybe a message you receive. Don't ignore the value and power of prayer that you receive every time you hear. So, the message is there. Through inarticulate messages from nature. The birds are there, the reptiles, the plants, the animals, the bugs. All of them working incessantly to do what they came here to do. My pets are home. I'm not thinking, well, I really want to be a raccoon next time. I really wish I could go for the garden. I have pets. Or your dog's like, I really wish I was a monkey, because monkeys can jump in. No, they're doing what they need to do. So they teach us presence. The plant is doing what plants do. They're there giving us shade, oxygen, retaining the soil. We saw what happens when there's flooding, right? But that's the law of destruction. But we pray for them, we donate, we go volunteer. Someone in my community just went to Asheville to help, and they were putting on those Facebook pages, buy nothing. Can you give me this? Can you give me that? So they made, the whole community came and did a kit so she could take. And where she was going, there was no electricity. She's a healthcare provider. I was doing that. Just happened to her because I know it. So they will be there. A simple sign on the street, something good will happen to you today. A conversation with a friend. Sometimes that person you need calls you. You have a problem, someone, hey, do you want to do this, you want to do that? Or you have the urge to call someone, and you can be the person who will give the guidance without telling them what to do, right? Because if you tell something to someone, go this place, get this job, marry that person, if things won't work out, who is co-responsible? Us. So the advice we give has to be very careful. When the spirits advise us, what do? They're like, perhaps you could do this way, consider this. And I'm like, do it. If you hear this, do this. It could be a spirit that is not in your best interest to listen to. Spirit friends, we're known as obsessive in spiritism, but they're helping us already. Or through the emotions that are inside of you. So you go into a place and you feel to write about it, there's a message there. But we only know this if we have self-knowledge. But God will always answer. Manuel says, let us be sure that God is constantly listening to our requests. It's important to make silence in the inner world, forgetting about the demands and desires. Remember the time? You have the time. You're here today, now. You have the resources that you need. Not what I have. What I have is different than what you have. And because we are in society, I can provide some things, you provide others. But what if I can't provide? Maybe the teaching is different. If your physical body can't provide something, it means you're allowing someone the joy of service. Let's say you're in a hospital. And you can't be at home doing what you do to escape. Clean, dishes, go for the list. But you can't do any of that. Someone will come to you and do the room cleaning. Someone will cover your wounds. Someone will make sure the medication prescribed is correct and given. The spirits of light are there. So your job may be, when I did, to pray. To pray that when the physician comes to you, ask you by the 5th time, what's wrong with you? Because they all come and ask you the same question. What happened? You repeat yourself. For the 5th time, you want to tell them to go take a hike. I'm not answering this anymore because the nursing student comes, the medical student comes, the nurse comes, the physician comes, and the different teams come if I've been in the hospital. By the 6th time, you're like, okay, let me go home because I don't want to answer this anymore. But our prayer is to go get your checkup. Pray for the physician, they're overworked, to have the right diagnosis for you so you don't receive things you don't need. Pray for the cleaner because it's a really hard job, but nobody is in the hospital without them cleaning and sanitizing. If you go to the hospital, try to get home as soon as possible. You don't want to get an infection and stay home. That's a problem, right? Because we have powerful medications and a lot of diseases, so try not to. But if we need, we have it, and it's blessed by nature. If you're driving, maybe your job is to pray that there's no road rage. To pray that nobody gets in an accident. There was an accident over here. Small fender bender. Right? It's inconvenience. But thank God nobody got hurt. So if you're at home, your job is to pray that only the good spirits come to help you. Because based on our thoughts and our ideas and our actions, we are attracting spirits to our environment that stimulating us to derail from the good news. What they're saying? They're saying, go take a vacation, get this, get a bigger house, activities. You only live once, go visit. go visit. Vacation is in the law, rest is on the law of work in the Spirit's book. But only rest all the time, only being served. Is that why we go everywhere? We don't think of receiving the coffee from the barista and praying, thanking them for being there. It's a hard job. And I have the resources to purchase
So now, I, so now, yeah, we're gonna prepare ourselves, knowing that the good spirits have been here all the time. They know what we need, and all we need to do to connect with them is to surrender, not ask, the surrender, and say, I trust God's love, and I trust that I'm taken care of in all my mental, emotional, physical needs. Right. So let us visualize Jesus as our best friend. Jesus who envelops us in his power of love. He's whispering in our ears, you can do it. You reincarnated to progress, to love, and to pacify your heart. Let us all visualize Master Jesus with us, with his loving, compassionate heart, showering us with his energy medicine that brings relief, love, and much peace in our hearts. Let us now help one another and feel the presence of the spirit doctors, nurses, and therapists. We visualize them applying. They are right now applying onto us the energy medicine that we need for the mind and the bodies. us continue to think of the health of everyone, visualizing flowers as the spirit nurses are now giving to each one of us white flowers of serenity, emanating and enveloping us with this vibration of calm, serenity, trusting God, breathing in and out the perfume of serenity. Let's keep practicing this kindness towards everyone here present by helping the good spirits help everyone. Visualizing that those flowers that they gave us, now it's our turn to give one of those flowers of peace to someone in our lives whom we need to make peace with, reconcile with. Let us visualize Master Jesus with us. We are holding that flower of peace and giving to that person whom we need to be friends again. us now visualize our homes. Open the door of our homes to Master Jesus and his messengers. Welcoming them in our homes so they can rebalance the energy field of our homes and rescue all those who are in need of help and a new beginning.
Daddy.
Let us now together raise our thoughts to our Creator. Dear loving Father, how grateful we are to you for the opportunity to be here today. In this beautiful day, reminding us the importance of being courageous in our lives. We pray, Father, that we can take all the teachings that we learned today and apply it in our everyday lives. Please inspire us, Father, so that we can be courageous to choose the good, to choose the truth, to fulfill the beautiful plan that you have designed for each and every one of us. May we inspire those who are with us to also be courageous in their faith and their love to you. We pray that those that accompany us in the spiritual realm can receive the help that they need, that they can feel your envelop and love and care. and with much gratitude in our hearts, may we go home feeling inspired and with our spirits fulfilled with love. We ask your permission to close this part of our session of today. And so be it.